Imagine this. It's the first day of school, a fresh start, right? But for her, it isn't. She caught a cold and spent 3 days at home. As a result, when she finally attended class for the first time, everyone already had a friend group. She completely missed her chance to join. In short, she is a complete loner, not a single friend after a week of school. As she is walking, Truck Cohen appears. As she is about to get hit, someone stops the truck with his foot. She is shocked. She cannot believe that he stopped it using his foot. The person asks, "You were just thinking, oh, maybe I'll reincarnate in another world." "Not on my watch," he says. She, clueless, makes a silly face. Then the scene changes. We see the Retriever Kingdom. In order to protect the kingdom, the Holy Order of Knights was assembled. Among them is the strongest holy knight in the country, the elite knight Pomera. Not a single person could top his sword-wielding skills. As he was well loved by everyone in his kingdom, he said, "To protect justice and love in this world, I will put my life on the line." He was stronger than anyone, more noble than anyone. He was the embodiment of the word elite. But at this point in time, he did not yet know that he would come to regret being the elite hunk. We see someone excited to see a real king for the first time, and they shout, "This is an ice guy." His peers are shocked. "How can you act so casually before the king?" Our ice guy says, "Who cares if he's the king? All humans are equal. Knights are so stuck up with tradition." Pomera replies, "There is a difference between equality and having no manners," and leaps to attack him, but our ice guy just sends him flying with a single punch. Pomera lies defeated while the other guy casually says, "I try to hold back, but I'm just too strong." Everyone is shocked, and the princess casually praises him. The scene changes. A majestic dragon stands before Pomera. He commands that all ordinary citizens stay back, but our ice guy casually walks in and says, "You are in danger if you stand there. You're only going to get in the way." By just raising his hand, he unleashes an explosive fire spell that eliminates the dragon with ease, leaving behind a huge crater. He says, "I was just trying to give my magical whirl," and a woman clings to him. He casually says, "I was trying not to stand out." Pomera is devastated and thinks, but who in the world are they? More and more absurdly strong people have been appearing lately. As his peers talk about them, Pomera stops and says, "Though I don't know where they came from, I respect their strength. The kind of power they have must have been obtained after shedding plenty of blood, sweat, and tears." He accepts that they are stronger and better than him. His peers, however, tell him to listen calmly. Those guys haven't put in an ounce of effort. They're strong because they reincarnated into another world. Our intel squad looked into it, and they finally uncovered the terrifying truth behind those people. They say they become absurdly strong with zero effort, completely unrivaled. They can do the bare minimum when interacting with people and still end up popular. People who were handed power on a silver platter don't deserve to live. You have no right to put yourself on the same pedestal as those who bravely fight for the people. They argue that Pomera climbed to his position as a young super elite knight everyone looks up to only because of hard work, and that elite knights now only serve as foils for reincarnators. With a determined face, he declares, "I can't let them beat me. My pride as a knight won't allow it. I swear on my name that I won't be a foil anymore." We get a look at Pomera's past. He dedicated himself to the art of the sword from a young age and honed his skills tirelessly. He knew, deep in his soul, that raw effort will never let you down. And yet, somehow, something called a cheat ability that overshadows effort exists. More and more people from another world kept reincarnating. They kept coming until there seemed to be no end in sight. Our MC Pomera lies there defeated but still hopeful. "So long as my sword remains intact, so will my spirit." But seeing the massive crowd of reincarnated people, he cannot take it anymore. The Ice Sky people are praised by women and even the king himself. There was a knight who fought for peace and justice. People from another world used him as a foil, and he lost everything. Once revered as one of the elite, that knight had now really snapped. Those pieces of trash who can't do anything without their cheats. There never will be reincarnators again for as long as I live. At present, Pomera just saved a girl. He looks at her photo and says, "Inu Kai Chiwa." You have been chosen as the next person to reincarnate as a hero. She, confused, asks, "Are you talking about the popular anime genre?" He grins and says, "I ain't letting you reincarnate into another world. Forget about cheats, forget about harems, and forget all that crap. If you dare to reincarnate, I will end your life." Suddenly a truck drives out, and someone yells, "Are you going to stand in the middle of the road forever? You're blocking traffic." As Inukai apologizes, Palmera hits the driver in the head and shouts, "You old fart. Do you know what would have happened if I hadn't stopped your truck? You'd have 100% made that girl reincarnate. Why were you even laying on the horn when the signal was clearly red? Are you dumb?" He runs toward the truck and, with a leap, destroys it. "Do you even know how many fucking people you and your stupid truck have sent to another world?" Inukai, not wanting trouble, tries to run away, but suddenly another truck comes toward her. As she is about to get hit, Palmera shields her with his own body. Due to the shock, both collapse together. She's shocked and asks, "What? Reincarnate as a hero?" Palmera confirms, "That's right, Inukai Chiwa. You've been chosen as the next hero to reincarnate." She asks if he's sure because at school she's just a loner with no friends, an introvert with no individuality or talents. Isn't that the polar opposite of a hero? Palmera says no. If anything, that makes you more likely to be selected. In any case, it's already been decided. You'll be the next hero. But if I never let you reincarnate, the hero after you, and all the ones after that, will never get a chance to reincarnate either. The following day, Inukai is still shaken by the previous events. As she crosses the road, a car suddenly comes toward her, but Palmera crushes it with ease. "Trying to reincarnate as soon as I look away? If you die, no," she cries. She points at the traffic signal and says the signal was green, but then some tough-looking guys approach them and snarl, "Are you saying it's wrong for us to run through a red light? Do you know any Yakuza who respect traffic lights? You don't, because there isn't one, bitch." They take out weapons and prepare to attack. The scene changes to the Bureau of Reincarnation Affairs, where someone asks about Inukai Chiwa. She was scheduled to be reincarnated yesterday after being run over by a truck. Why is she still alive? Someone replies, "My apologies. It seems someone prevented her death." They explain that they can reincarnate only one person at a time. The more a reincarnation is delayed, the more an introverted kid somewhere suffers. For introverts, who are treated as weak in society, escaping their cruel reality is their salvation. As angels, it is our duty to guide them down that path. Is the only way for an introvert to be happy. No one shall be allowed to get in our way. Inukai, still scared, sees Palmera fighting, and he, with a fierce look, says, "Every single bastard who tries to kill this woman will die." But one of them pulls a gun and fires at our MC. He calmly raises his sword and slices the bullet in half. The attacker is stunned and thinks to himself, "As a former captain of a kendo club, I can tell, compared to the lot, this man's skill with a sword." He trails off, awed. Palmera thinks about her trembling like a terrified chihuahua and how a reincarnation would change everything. He imagines how she would treat him if she reincarnated and becomes enraged. We see he followed her to her school. Everyone looks toward Palmera with a menacing face. They're scared. Someone stops him and asks, "You are not a student in our school." Palmera asks about him, and Inukai explains that he is Shibasaki-sensei. He comes closer and asks, "An outcast?" Palmera replies, "Don't you dare call me that." Shibasaki cries out, "Young man, are you going through any hardships? In reality, you're a kind-hearted person. You've just strayed from the right path because something horrible happened, am I right? One who protects the dreams of young people so they can be happy. May everyone be blessed with happiness." Palmera had indeed strayed from his righteous path because something terrible had happened. Words like save, protect, and happiness resonated deeply within his heart, and he bursts into tears. We see Inukai sitting alone having her lunch. Palmera appears and asks, "You really don't have any friends?" He says, "So this is what they call a loner meal. I didn't think it was possible." Inukai replies, "I didn't think I'd end up eating meals all by myself either, okay? But what other choice do I have? I don't have friends." She explains she caught a cold on the day of the entrance ceremony and had to skip school. When she recovered 3 days later, it was already too late. Everyone in her class had already formed friend groups. She completely missed her chance to join a clique. By the time she realized it, she had already spent a week alone. At this point, she lacks the courage to go out there and ask someone to be her friend. Eating meals by myself suits me better anyway. Palmera realizes the reason for the reincarnation push and says, "You need to make friends." Inukai replies, "I can't. I don't even know how to make friends in the first place. Just let me be a loner for the rest of my life. It's what I deserve anyway." After saying it, she runs away. We see her at the top of the school roof gasping for breath. But someone calls from behind, "I know you don't have friends in class, but there is still hope for you. It doesn't matter whether you're a loner or an introvert. Your future is still brimming with hope. A wonderful life full of fun and joy is waiting for you somewhere out there." He says, saving introverted loners. That's what reincarnating them in another world is all about. So he pleads with Inukai to accept her death as the best option, and then summons a fucking truck onto the school roof to ice sky her. With this, you've graduated from introvert to a hero. Just like that, the truck hits her, but suddenly Palmera comes from behind, holding Inukai, and punches the sensei, sending him flying. But Inukai, sobbing, cries, "I didn't do anything wrong." The truck was the one who popped up on the roof out of nowhere. The sensei appears behind Palmera and says it's wrong to make a girl cry. He swiftly goes to Inukai and tells her that if she does not die, how would she reincarnate? Palmera takes her and steps behind the sensei, saying, "I received reports of someone preventing her from dying." Palmera accuses him. "You must be an angel, a servant of heaven dedicated to sending humans from this world to another one." With a stern voice he asks, "Why did you prevent her from reincarnating? Every introvert has the right to be happy." The sensei goes on about how she's got no friends, no place where she belongs, can't do anything, nor does she try to. There's only one way to save someone so irredeemably unsocial: to reincarnate them in another world. Palmera says to Inukai, "Don't let him trash talk you." Inukai agrees, but the sensei assures her, "No matter how introverted you are, you will be happy after reincarnating." This has been the case for every introvert across history. He tells her to accept her fate and summons another truck. Trucks are the symbol of reincarnation. "This is my angel power. Good luck, truck. Anyone run over by my trucks will reincarnate in another world." He summons more flying trucks and unleashes them on her. "When you next open your eyes, you will be a hero in another world." As he turns, Palmera calls out to him, "A person with no cheat ability has no chance of beating me." The angel recognizes him. Once revered as the strongest person in another world, the elite knight Palmera. "You're quite famous even among the angels who oversee reincarnations. You've been continuously used as a foil for all the cheaters who reincarnated in your world, right? Despite being an elite knight, you ended up in that state." In a twist, the angel bows his head and apologizes to him, making people happy by reincarnating them in another world. "And yet, as a result of our actions, you were gravely harmed. I should have considered how you feel. But even so," the angel says, "I won't quit reincarnating people. Introverts are different. The only way to save those society considers inferior is to reincarnate them in another world." Then the angel unleashes his full power by transforming into a huge truck and attacks using his good luck truck Nova. Palmera tries his best to stop this ultimate move, but the angel is determined, thinking about all the introverts who want to be invincible and have a harem without putting in the effort. Reincarnating is their hope and dream. He almost defeats Palmera, but he looks toward Inukai and imagines how she would treat him if she reincarnated, and that's enough for him to overpower the angel's attack. The angel apologizes. "All I wanted was to save you. Wanted you to reincarnate in another world as a hero, but I couldn't fulfill my duties." Then Inukai, with a silly face, says, "I'm afraid to die like any normal person, so this reincarnation thing, I'm really fine without it." Shibasaki smiles and says, I won't force you to reincarnate anymore. Your feelings are what matter the most. That's why I'll wait. Until the day you change your mind. Let me know if you ever want to reincarnate. After everything, Palmera returns home. As he opens the door, two people crawl toward him. Pochi and Pesu, what happened? Who hurt you? They are Palmera's right-hand men, knights from the Retriever Kingdom. They say, without even thinking about it, we got part-time jobs morning, afternoon, and evening. It feels like we can't even sleep. It's almost time for our next job, working to the bone to support your life in this world. They insist, don't worry about us. Destroy the vile practice of reincarnating people in another world. That is your noble cause, and we are putting our lives on the line so you can accomplish it. We were prepared to work ourselves to death from the start, seeing you ridiculed by those cheating introverts who have never put in an ounce of effort their whole lives. Palmera gets emotional, and they all start crying. Suddenly someone knocks. An old lady stands in the doorway. She screams at them to get out of the apartment. They're shocked and try to ask why, but she yells, "The guy with shoulder pads. You keep crawling back home day in and day out looking like you've been to a war. Every person in the neighborhood is terrified of you. I'm not going to let a bunch of strangers wreak havoc in my neighborhood." Palmera says, "Let's step outside, Granny." Pochi and Pesu tell Palmera to settle down. There's no other place where rent is this cheap. As they step outside, they see Inukai Chiwa. The landlord asks her for a piece of candy. Seeing Palmera and the others, Inukai's face completely changes. They realizes for her we came all the way to this world to prevent her from reincarnating. "Friends?" she asks. It turns out the landlord is her grandmother, Inukai Tozi. She asks if these are her friends. Palmera is about to say something rude, but Pochi and Pesu kneel and proclaim, "We have pledged our allegiance to Chiwa as her friends." Grandmother asks Palmera, "Is she not your friend?" He, looking at his peers, breaks his knees to kneel down and says that he is her friend. The grandmother is shocked, but says she can't kick out her granddaughter's friends now and even offers to make the rent cheaper. From behind, someone else asks, "I hear some commotion outside, and look who it is. It's the sensei. If you ever feel lonely, you can come to my apartment anytime. I'll send you to another world," he tells Inukai. Palmera shouts, "Teachers don't bring students to their house. You absolute sicko." His peers whisper among themselves, "Who would have thought one of our sworn enemies was a teacher?" The grandmother still can't believe that a hot delinquent and a sexy teacher with glasses are fighting over Chiwa. Inukai is shocked to see Palmera right in front of her in class. The sensei introduces him as a new transfer student. She asks, "But aren't you two nemesis?" The sensei replies that whether they're friends or foes doesn't matter. "A student who veered off course has asked me to attend as an educator. It's only natural for me to help him." Palmera warns her again that he won't let her reincarnate. She asks why he transferred to her school. He replies, "I can't risk having you die at school. I'm here to make sure you don't get reincarnated in another world." She replies, "Come on. Surely I wouldn't die at school, right? Did you forget you almost got run over by a truck on the rooftop of this very school?" Suddenly, the sensei announces it is time for homeroom and introduces another transfer student, Akita. Shibasaki tries to introduce himself, but she just gives him a look and walks off. Palmera tells Inukai, "This is your chance, Chiwa. She's without a doubt a loner with no friends." He encourages Inukai to be her friend, but she says, "I couldn't call out to such a beautiful girl in a million years." Palmera fires back, "Are you just going to sit and wait for someone to call out to you for the rest of your life? If you want to make friends, you got to put yourself out there. Do you want to be alone forever? Have some courage." As she gets up to talk to Akita, everyone else swarms her with questions, and she just stands up and leaves. Shibasaki asks Palmera if he's not going to make friends too, since he's a transfer student. He replies, "I'm a man who's abandoned everything. I got no plans to act out some mushy adolescent life." During PE, he strikes a ball, and everyone praises him. He feels a sense of nostalgia. During lunch, Shibasaki challenges him to a match, and Palmera gladly accepts. Inukai thinks to herself that Palmera was surrounded by students on his first day while she hasn't had a single friend since she started attending school. As she turns, we see Akita gulping food and making a silly face. Inukai stares with wide eyes. Akita asks whether this was her spot. Inukai thinks she didn't even say a word, but suddenly Akita announces, "Loner meals are the best." Inukai is shocked and asks if Akita is pretty cool. Everyone was fawning over her on her first day. Akita replies, "I'm pretty cool, but I enjoy being alone. It's too much of a pain to be considerate of everyone around me. Doing what I like whenever I like, as much as I like, without caring for or bothering anyone. That is the path of the loner. I have nothing to be ashamed of." As Inukai admires her, the sensei crashes in with a huge bang. Palmera laughs from behind and asks Inukai if she made a friend. He tells Akita that she is Inukai's first friend, but Akita just walks away without saying anything. Shibasaki gets to his feet and says, "That was a magnificent assassin serve." Palmera replies, "You weren't half bad either. That was the first time anyone received my serve and lived to tell the tale." They shake hands while Inukai watches and wonders if they're too good of friends. Everyone invites Palmera to join their clubs. He says he'll try each one. Some girls call out to Akita and invite her to karaoke or bowling, but she declines because she promised to walk home with Inukai. Inukai totally freaks out. "But why me?" she asks. Akita replies that being around her is calming. Inukai gathers courage and asks Akita if she would like to be her friend. Akita doesn't reply. Inukai flusters and says, "Never mind. It's just that I have no friends. This is my first time walking home with someone else, so I got a bit ahead of myself." Suddenly, a madman swings a knife and starts running toward them. Akita holds Inukai and says, "It's not just you. You're not alone anymore." As the madman runs at them, Akita turns Inukai toward the slasher. Inukai is shocked and asks what Akita is doing. Akita replies coldly, "Once you reincarnate, you will have as many friends as you want, so just let yourself get stabbed. It'll be a quick death." The slasher is hit by truck koan as the sensei appears. Inukai runs toward him and he asks who the attacker was and why they tried to kill her. Akita replies, "Did you seriously not notice? It's me, your Kohai angel, for what that's worth." He realizes and says, "That ice-cold gaze as if you're looking at a pervert. There's no doubt about it. You're my Kohai, Akita." He introduces her to Inukai as someone who works for Heaven in the Bureau of Reincarnation Affairs. Inukai asks how he didn't notice until now. He replies, "Despite how I look, I'm quite scatterbrained." Akita scolds him. "You were taking your sweet time reincarnating Inukai Chiwa, so Heaven ordered me to come instead. Stop giving me unnecessary work, you useless superior. I could finish this job in half a day. In fact, if you hadn't interrupted, she would have reincarnated by now." The sensei denies it. "I won't let you. She is still afraid of reincarnating in another world. If she herself doesn't wish for it, we shouldn't send her. Otherwise it wouldn't make her truly happy. Am I wrong?" Akita thinks he's being dumb. Isn't it their job to reincarnate introverts? Then things escalate. Akita summons tons of slashers. The sensei says, "Just like I summon trucks to send introverts to another world, Akita is an angel who can summon slashers for the same purpose." Akita says, "Let's get this over with." But the sensei summons his good luck truck and declares, "I'll pulverize your slashers with my overwhelming power." The truck doesn't move. Inukai points out that the slashers put poop in front of the tire to block it. The sensei angrily says, "Too bad. The era of trucks is over." Akita remarks that reincarnation trends are now all about getting stabbed, senpai. They capture the sensei, and Akita tells Inukai that there are no introverts who hate being reincarnated into another world. Inukai cries that it was all a lie. She thought Akita was her first friend when they walked home. So was it all fake? Akita replies that obviously not. This is her job. She isn't being malicious. Don't be dejected. You can have all the friends you want in another world. The sensei tackles and says, "Run for it." He tells Akita this isn't the right way. They should consider Inukai's feelings first. Akita replies, just go be her buddy if you want. But suddenly the good luck truck starts moving on its own. The shocked sensei asks how his truck is moving by itself, but we see a slasher controlling it. Akita says the sensei's ability is to summon autopilot, so if she uses her slasher to steer it, it's the same as taking control. Now playtime is over, she says, and unleashes the truck with slashers upon them. The scene changes. Palmera is playing with his new friends and suggests they go buy Pocari, sports drink. As they return, we see Pochi and Pesu. Palmera asks why they are here. They reply that they have part-time jobs. His new friend boasts that Palmera is the hero of every sport. Even the students look up to him. They rant about those cheating bastards who got to where they are because they were reincarnated, and then they ask where Inukai is. Suddenly Palmera snaps and declares that his only goal is to crush Reincarnators. He tells everyone he had lots of fun, then runs off to protect Inukai. His peers cry. We see the sensei and Inukai surrounded by Akita and her slashers. The sensei tells her not to lose hope, but suddenly the slasher driving the truck appears to ice-sky her. The sensei pushes her aside and gets hit. Akita comments, dying while protecting your target, she'll never understand. And the sensei stands and says their goal as angels isn't to take people's lives, but to make all introverts happy. Inukai, you are no exception to the rule. So until the day comes you yourself wish to reincarnate, let me protect you, he says. Then he collapses. We see Palmera standing there, surrounded by slashers. Akita mocks him for dying from his own truck, but another guy shows up. Palmera moves and punches one of the slashers. Akita watches in shock. Palmera says, you have my gratitude, lousy angel, but I'll take it from here.